This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Today marks 1 year since a teen was struck in downtown St. Louis. 17-year-old Janae Edmondson was in town for a volleyball tournament. She lost both of her legs that day after a car crashed into her. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. That crash left many shocked and raised the alarms of safety on downtown streets in St. Louis. Today, Janae Edmondson has shown strength and perseverance through her recovery, and changes in the city have begun. Mercedes McKay has an inside look at how Janae is doing and what more needs to be done.
February 18, 2023 changed a lot in our city. And for one family, it completely turned their lives upside down. Right now, the same tournament Janae was in town for is happening at the Dome. And while things may look a little different, advocates believe there's still a lot more work to be done.
We've been seeing the reality of what St. Louis streets are like for a long time.
And that reality woke a lot of people up when this Tennessee teen visiting St. Louis for a volleyball tournament became the victim 1 year ago.
In a way, it made a lot of people pay attention to what they've been ignoring for a long time.
17-year-old Janae Edmondson was hit by a car downtown as she was walking back to the hotel with her family. The driver, then 21-year-old Daniel Riley, was supposed to be on house arrest.
You don't have to be an activist or an advocate anymore to notice there's something wrong.
The past year for Edmondson has been nothing short of an uphill battle, with countless surgeries and physical therapy appointments. But the teenager has handled it with grace and perseverance, attending prom, graduating from high school, and even committing to play volleyball at Middle Tennessee State University. Last summer, Edmondson received prosthetic legs and just 4 months ago took her first steps. While she's been recovering miles away in Tennessee, change has taken place here in St. Louis. The yield sign that Riley ran at the intersection of 11th and St. Charles became a stop sign. Barriers were placed outside the Dome to keep visitors safe for events, and Board Bill 120 was passed.
We're gonna have over 40 million dedicated to traffic calming, which is great.
But for people like Aubrey Byron with the Community Mobility Committee, that's just a drop in the bucket.
We really need a citywide plan to address this issue of traffic violence.
With a criminal case on deck for next month and a lawsuit filed against the city of St. Louis, Janae and her family aren't giving up their fight, while many like Byron work to make sure this never happens again.
We need to do something now.
Janae's GoFundMe is over $800,000 right now. You can still help out her and her family. We have the information you need on ksdk.com under the As Seen on TV section.
Explore St. Louis tells 5 on your side 30,000 people are at the tournament this weekend, and over 760 teams are represented, which is 100 more than last year. Right now, Explore St. Louis continues to work with community partners and St. Louis police to ensure safety downtown for visitors. The anniversary of Edmondson's crash comes just 5 days after another crash in downtown St. Louis killed 2 women. Last week, a Jeep ran a red light and hit 2 women while they were leaving the Drake concert. Leticia Bracero and her 21-year-old daughter, Alyssa Cordova, were both killed. Monty Henderson is accused of hitting them and now faces manslaughter charges. On Friday, just days after the deadly crash, Henderson was released on bond. Both these devastating crashes have many wondering what is being done to keep people safe. City leaders say they are working to improve safety design on city streets.
We are doing everything we can to implement traffic studies that have been sitting on shelves for years. We're using over $40 million of ARPA funds to deploy these resources to make our intersections, our top 10 dangerous intersections safer, and those studies are going to be implemented in the coming months.
Now, last March, Mayor Jones signed the St. Louis Safer Streets bill. We were told that $12 million of that funding would go to drawing up blueprints for traffic calming and improving roads. When she signed the bill, she also said the actual implementation of those plans would start in the first quarter of this year. According to the city's website, only $98,000 of that $12 million has been spent. Our Laura Barczewski is looking closer at what the city is actually doing to bolster street safety tonight on 5 on your side at 10. And now to a live look downtown. The snow is melting across the region. The temperature is creeping back up. Weather First meteorologist Gary Frank is here with a look at your forecast, and that temperature is going to continue to go up, right, Gary?
Continue to go up. We're back above average. No surprise. That's how most of the month of February is gone, right? Like minus 2 days, and we know the 2 consecutive days of Friday and Saturday where it was much colder, but, you know, otherwise it's been above average. This month we're back above average, and a lot of melting going on. Farmington, Highland, Cuba. There's plenty of snow. Highland's a good example. Look at the shade there. We got snow in the sunshine. And it's obviously melted, and that's what we've seen most of. The visible satellite, always fun. Watch this snow gradually shrink from Springfield all the way to the south of the city, and we'll show you some fun time lapses as a result. But you can really tell by looking at this where it's just a notch warmer at this hour in the upper 40s, where you've seen temperatures climb as a little bit as a result of not much snow, but it's still 43 in Alton. So overall, though, the big part of where the snow is starting to melt. It was even colder in Springfield and Indy, but off to the southwest, that's that warmer air mass that's going to settle in over the next couple of days. Temps are still going to be in the mid-20s or right around 30 degrees overnight. However, the next few days, more melting Monday, if not all of it. Then we'll finish it on Tuesday with very warm conditions, and severe weather is more likely and then the rest of the month than snow is, at least in the region. We'll talk about that is and how warm we're expected the next 10 days.
Tonight, business owners in St. Louis are reacting to a new bill making its way through the Board of Aldermen. The legislation would make it easier for them to get their liquor licenses. Our 5 on Your Side's Travis Cummings reports on the process.
I did not get my liquor license until after I opened. It was the middle of September.
Imagine that, a Mexican restaurant without margaritas. The only thing that was shaking up at Padrino's on Grand Boulevard at first was the liquor license process.
It always seemed like there was something that I had to go back for and redo.
For years, business owners like Christina Robles have had to gather signatures from a majority of the people living and doing business within a 350-foot radius of the business to serve liquor.
When you thought that you got things right, especially like with voters and stuff, if the voters didn't live there anymore at these residences.
Under a new law, you'd have to apply for a 90-day temporary license after a few hearings. The excise commissioner could then opt to renew the license for 90 more days. Then the city would check to see if you are making more than 50% of revenue on food and consider community complaints before you could receive a permanent license.
You're basically taking a gamble that you're going to go back into this city office in 6 months and they're going to say, okay, fine, you can operate this business. My thoughts are you would probably want to sew that up at the front end.
Joe Kelly has helped new and existing businesses apply for their liquor license in the region for 37 years. He says you can't count out your neighbors.
People in neighborhoods may not necessarily want a restaurant opening up across the street from them. Other than liquor, it does have an impact on a neighborhood. Parking, trash, noise, loitering.
These community stakeholders say there has to be a balance to do good business.
It's 25% more sales revenue when you do have liquor. But then it's also the responsibility of the restaurant or the bar to control the people that come in.
Travis Cummings, 5 on Your Side.
The bill will have a third reading and then a vote by the full board to determine whether it will go to Mayor Tashara Jones's desk. A mass shooting turned celebrations into tragedy in Kansas City. Now, a local leader is calling for change. After losing their son, TJ Mister's family wants to make sure what happened to him never happens again. The steps they're taking right now. And before we go to break, we want to remind you about our Black History Shaping St. Louis event this week. Join us on Thursday at the Missouri History Museum. Happy hour begins at 5. The program begins at 6:30. Kelly Jackson and Brent Solomon will moderate. The event is free, no registration required.